I am speechless because for me, for Julian, it is very special because we are the two players from 2005 who've been with the team, and for us, it seems like it's going back to 2005, and I'm just too happy and happy that the girls have given us an opportunity again to be part of the World Cup finals.
And this knock of Harman, it won you the game, but in the context of Indian cricket, 9 p.m. prime time television, everybody watching this kind of breaks new barriers, isn't it?
Yes, because it's important when the matches are televised to, showcase a very good brand of cricket, because people now started following women's cricket. So it's important that we play the best cricket as women cricketers and put forward to the viewers to see and watch and continue to support women's cricket. That's how we attract more people to come and watch women's games.
You have seen Harman from her start 2009 World Cup when she played that innings against Australia. 8 years. How would you define her? Because she has a lion's heart. How do you define her?
Well, I think the transformation definitely has come after she playing the WBBL, because that exposure has given her and Smriti a lot of knowledge of interacting with the other players, because as I mentioned in the last press meet that against Australia, it was they who were like giving us a lot of inputs about the players. So if there are more players who are part of these leagues where they exchange ideas and follow the routines of other players and being part of the meetings, then it will only help to improve the standard of women's cricket, as well as it's very beneficial for youngsters and people and players from the Indian team.
Is that the greatest knock you've ever seen?
Sorry?
Is that the greatest knock you've ever seen from Harman?
Well, as a India player, definitely yes, because obviously we have even been part of watching Atabar to play that 178. But again, it's good to see someone playing from the Indian team, and especially at this stage, because it was important for us to come out with something like this kind of a performance to qualify for the finals, because it isn't easy to beat Australia, and it was an exceptional performance. And even in spite of putting up a total, at one point it seemed like they were catching up, but I guess the bowlers have also done very well, especially the fast bowlers who've given us that initial breakthroughs.
Yesterday you said everything would need to go right for you to put your best foot forward. Did everything go right for you today?
Well, ideally I would have wanted my openers to have more runs, but I think it's okay as long as the team looks very confident, inspired by the performance in the last two games, because I personally feel that this team has really changed the momentum of coming back into the games, because it's very important, as I mentioned earlier also, if you want to be the best side in the world, you need to know how to make comebacks after a defeat, and that's what the girls are. Today I can proudly say as a captain that this team has really made a comeback and posted a total that even in 50 overs we haven't really posted it, and all of them, whether the top order bat or the bowlers, everybody looked to be in sync.
Only 8 days ago you were talking about, after the last time you played Australia, about how disappointed you were you didn't have that support there for many years. Do you feel like, and you named Harmanpreet as being one of those underperforming players for your national side, do you feel now as though there's an added maturity to your side, and you can sort of, when you do decide to stop playing, it's left in pretty good hands?
Yes, I think definitely, because the game against New Zealand, the knock, she had runs, and as well as Harman Veda had runs. So it was important, that game where they got those 50s backing them. So today they walked in with more confidence. Had they not scored runs, it would have been a different picture today. But all said and done, everything happens for a reason and for good, and it was needed. And I'm sure this knock of hers will give her more confident tomorrow when she's in a position to take more responsibility as a batter. She'll be in a better shape and experience to take the team along.
Mithali, yesterday you were asked if you thought Australia had weaknesses you could exploit. You said yes, but you didn't want to say what they are. Can you tell us now what you'd identified as the weaknesses in that side?
Well, one is that when you play against Australia, you need to be on par with them in terms of your mentally being strong, and you need to take those chances, because the more defensive you are, they start being more attacking, and it is always better to be attacking with them. And also the fact that we knew that it's important to get us that initial breakthrough, because the openers have always given them the start. So for us, it was important to get those 2 early wickets. Today, of course, the opener they lost very early in the innings, as well as Meg Lanning's wicket was a turning point, I think, because a huge runs are scored by the openers Meg Lanning and Perry. So once once they were 3 wickets down, then we knew that it's going to be very difficult for them to chase 280.
How big was that wicket? And coming from a champion like Julan, who has raised her game in the second half of this World Cup?
Well, usually, I mean, definitely she's Meg Lanning is a world-class player, no doubt about it, and I wouldn't take any credit from her. But when you're chasing 280, there's always pressure, always. I mean, no matter how big a player you are and how many runs you've scored, there is always a pressure of chasing a big total, and it is also imperative that the team will be depending more on the openers to give them a flying start, which they didn't get. So when she walked in, I definitely, as a player, I could understand that she was under immense pressure. So it was important to get her wicket in the early stages.
And Julan's part in that, in terms of stepping up in the last few
Well, she has definitely worked on her bowling, because from the first game to the Sri Lanka game and the New Zealand game, she was getting better in the nets. So it's just a matter of time. You get a couple of good spells and you're back into that confidence mode.
You were cautious about looking forward to Lords in the final. You're there now. How excited are you maybe playing in front of 26,000 people at the home of cricket?
Well, I think as a team we are all very excited to be part of the World Cup finals. We knew that this tournament isn't going to be easy, but again, the way the girls have turned up at every situation when the team needed, whether it is the batters or bowlers. In fact, this fielding in patches have been exceptionally good today. So this win has definitely changed the scenario in terms of how the girls are going to look up to the World Cup finals. It definitely isn't going to be easy for England, but again, I would say having beaten Australia, I'm sure the girls are on a high, but it will again boil down to how we perform on that day, because today has been our day, but we really have to again work on our planning and strategies for England, because England has also peaked after being defeated by us in the first game. They have really performed well throughout the tournament, the run up to the finals. So playing a host in their own country is going to be a challenge. But again, having said that, this unit is up for it.
Before the start of the tournament, you said that this was likely going to be your last 50 over tournament, and you were just kind of here to enjoy whether you won or lost. Are you slightly shocked by the fact that you guys have reached the final, given your thoughts at the beginning of the tournament?
Well, I mentioned that this is going to be my last World Cup. Probably I wouldn't be playing the next World Cup, which is in 4 years' time. But I'll still play international cricket for couple of more years. And yes, being my last World Cup, obviously I as a captain and as a player, I would want to, enjoy being in the World Cup. And this World Cup is completely different to the other editions, because it has really given scope for the players to increase their profile, as well as promote women's cricket on a larger scale, because all the matches were televised and broadcasted, and also an opportunity for the Indian team to make it big in India, because now women's cricket is a sport that girls can take up. So having said that, it was important for me to perform, but as well as see to it that the girls don't get burdened with the pressure of playing the World Cup. And I guess so far the girls have enjoyed challenges, enjoyed being there, and I'm sure they've enjoyed every victory, and even the defeats have taught us a lot to come back into the tournament.
Last 3 questions, please. 1, 2, and 3.
Harman was livid then when she got 100. What was the message from the dressing room to her?
Well, I think she's she's an aggressive player, and sometimes emotions run on the field. It's part of being at this level, at the stage, and I'm sure now she's not a young cricketer who hasn't realized. She realized, and she went back to speak to Deepti. It was important for a senior player like her to reach up to Deepti, because again Deepti is someone who's a youngster, and she's also a bowler, so it was important to have a good frame of mind when she's bowling. So I'm sure she sorted it out on the field itself, so we didn't really have to say much, but yeah.
Just picking up on something you said before, during the tournament your Twitter followings have gone crazy, like 10, 20-fold followership, and just thinking about that in terms of what that platform on Sunday provides at Lords in front of a massive TV audience, do you really think that this is the turning point for women's cricket in India? And if you can get over the line against England at Lords on Sunday, do you think that this could be, talk about the potential of women's cricket in your country if you can pull this off?
Well, if we pull it off, it's a big thing back in India. It's as I mentioned earlier before coming into the tournament, it's going to be kind of a revolution for women's cricket in India, because everybody has always emphasized that we need to win ICC tournament. We need to have one cup of the ICC tournament. So this is the stage and this is the platform. Now that the team has done well till the run up till the finals, and everybody are glued to the television, I'm sure, on Sunday, and if we can just pull it off, nothing like it, because I probably wouldn't have a word to describe it, and it definitely will help the future of women's cricket. All the women cricketers back in India, whoever think of making it as a career, will always be thankful to this bunch of players for giving them that platform.
Just touching on that slightly, Lords is obviously the home of cricket in this country. It's an iconic ground. What's it going to be like to play there in front of a sellout crowd?
Well, I'm sure it's going to be a different experience to what I've faced in 2005. Back in 2005, it wasn't as big a base that it is now. It's a huge. I think in 2005, hardly anybody knew that India has qualified for the finals, because they were all too involved with men's cricket, and nobody really paid attention to the Indian women's team which reached the finals, and the match wasn't televised as well, so we couldn't really garner that much viewers at that point of time. But now, it will be a big achievement for the girls if they pull it off, and I personally feel the girls need to enjoy being in an atmosphere like that, and each one of them will be the lucky one to be part of the finals, to play at Lords, because every cricketer dreams of playing at Lords because of the history, and here we've made an effort, we've reached there, and it's just that the girls perform their best as they've always done.
Thank you.